Welcome back to the Listen Up podcast, where we analyze a new album each week. I'm Jamie, and this week we've got me, Nick.
Hi.
Jordan.
Ow.
And joining us for the first time and actually rounding out this 2-month-long guest episodes is Nick's roommate, then ex-roommate, and now once again roommate, Craig.
What's up, everyone?
This week, we're going to be taking a look at The Color Spectrum, the entire complete collection by The Deer Hunter, released in 2011, and it was picked by Craig. Craig, why did you choose this album?
Oh, man. Okay, so first off, this is such a good album. But so I was searching online just at one point, just like looking for new music, right? And I found The Color Spectrum as like, I think I was watching BoJack Horseman, and there's an episode where he talks about like rock concerts, right? So I was like looking up rock concerts or like orchestral concerts, and I found The Deer Hunter because they have another series of albums, The Axe. And
okay, yeah, I saw those when I was looking at their Wikipedia. Yeah,
so I found those, and eventually found The Color Spectrum. And I love The Axe just as much, but I chose The Color Spectrum because, has a little bit of everything. So a little more to talk about. And I figured everyone would like it. And just like, yeah.
Yeah, it really was. I was very impressed by just the variety. Like, so the way that organized, and I listened to it by a playlist that you had made and shared with us on Spotify, because they have the actual record album. What? That's made no sense. The actual record, it's like a bunch of different 4-song EPs that are all colors, and then together they make up the entire spectrum. And your playlist, which I don't know why, I guess it'd just be hard to do, but the actual album, I didn't like that it doesn't show what color the songs are, but your playlist does.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and it was really cool to hear like how different sounding one band. I mean, and there were some, based on the Wikipedia, there were some like guest spots and stuff like that, but for the most part it was the same people just covering like weird industrial prog rock to like almost country sounding stuff.
Yeah, he has an amazing range, and just again, that's in The Color Spectrum and in The Axe as well. Just again, he can do any kind of music, and all of it's amazing. Like I can't find a fault in any of it.
His name is the main guy like Casey something?
Yeah. Casey's like, he's like the lead guitarist, lead singer / like a bunch of different titles.
Yeah, according to the Wikipedia, he was also at some point the bassist as well.
The guitarist and the bassist? He had like one of those double-decker guitars where he's like...
Well, he might have, but probably like someone else just would have been standing in on the other instrument.
Okay, but that's less impressive though.
That's true.
That's less cool. Okay,
that's true. I mean,
I'm imagining like a prog rock Tame Impala situation where he like assembles all the instruments together,
I do. Yeah. According to the Wikipedia one, he, all but the drums, it looked like.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It had like one of the like line things that shows who's been in for how long and what they did.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if there's weird squeaking in the background of this, it's Leo with his toy that no one is playing with him. He's just squeaking it.
It's okay. It's good.
But yeah, so what was I going to say? Oh, so I wasn't familiar with this band at all. This was such a fresh listen for me. Nick and Jordan, any familiarity?
None at all.
Oh, okay. I think this has been the first time since like Bones that no one else had listened except for the person who chose the album.
Craig's really
that's why I chose it.
He did. Yeah. I mean, Jordan, so you're someone who doesn't really like the shorter or the longer albums. And this album is almost 2.5 hours long. How did that go for you?
Oh, I just didn't listen to any of it.
Okay, yeah, just didn't listen to the entire album at all.
I get.
Just completely ignore it.
It was easier when I separated into sections, because the albums themselves are really short.
Right, they're 4 songs. Yeah.
Well, not like yeah. So I just kind of try to think of it like that.
Mm-hmm. Like the chapters in a book, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like sometimes I just like, and I'd like put myself in a mindset to where I'd be like, okay, now I'm listening to this album. I would just think about it like that.
Interesting.
And then I'd like even if I listen to a couple in a day, I'd just be like, okay, this is like, I try to like mentally shift whenever that happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I gotcha.
I'll do that a lot too when I'm just listening to it. I'm like, I'm in the mood for like Yellow right now, and I'll like just put on Yellow or something like that.
Yeah, something like kind of. Yeah, so that's kind of how I went about it. It was still, obviously I still knew it was long, but it was worth the listen though. Yeah.
Bro, it is not playtime. Oh my god, he never does this. He always just goes to sleep during the podcast. He's just.
Are you talking about Jordan? Jordan's trying to.
Yeah. Jordan's trying to
playing with this chew toy again.
Yeah, he's squeaking it.
Trying to play. Strength.
It's bizarre.
But, we talked about professionalism, Jordan.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But also at first, like I knew it was called the color spectrum, but for some reason I like didn't know why. Like I thought that it was more of like a personal thing from the musician, and because I had my Spotify open, but I had it in like a windowed thing, so I couldn't see the album name.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what's happening? And then I saw, once I like full screened it one time, just because I was like, okay, I was closing out some stuff. I was like, oh, I see the albums now. There's like 4 songs for a color on each one, and that like made sense afterwards. But for like the first 2, I don't think I knew that, but I did after. So
I felt like a bit of a logical transition of feeling between like black, red, orange, and yellow. And then when it got to green, I was like, is this the same band? Like it surprised me so much. I think I was listening to it when I was playing on my PS5, and I like paused it and got my phone out and looked at it. I was like, yeah, same band.
Yeah.
They just went in a different direction.
It definitely
the range is crazy.
Yeah, it definitely went. It was a gradual shift from black to then red and orange, and getting increasingly like cheery kind of. But then green is where they're like, all right, we're gonna move into the next feeling.
Yeah, a lot of this was like super planned too. So like Casey wanted it to start out with black being something that's like super hard hitting and like disconnected and like isolation. Like there's like some themes he wanted, and like by the end he wanted like that white to be like hopeful, or violet to be like hopeful, and like give all of like those like good feelings and kind of conclude the album.
Because
I got you.
And I always enjoy like really good. I don't know, because to me that would fall into the realm of like a good concept album. Like it doesn't necessarily tell like a character's linear story, but the concept would be like the ranging of, and because I don't think I'm alone in the sense that like when I think of music I think of colors at the same time. Like different albums are like different.
No, that's just you.
It's like if I thought about it, I could paint like kind of like a different color spectrum for albums. So it was kind of cool to listen to it and like listen to this album, and this is someone's take on exactly that in a very concrete way, and be like, this is like a red song. Okay, yeah, now we're kind of orange, getting a little bit. I wrote down like my actual thoughts on how they all sounded.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool to like listen to someone just taking an idea and going like, all right, here it is, and actually do it really well.
Just like but Jamie, for real, personally, I don't do that. What I do is I think of situations while I listen to music.
Yeah, I think we talked about. I think David, you and David said you both feel like you kind of make use songs you're listening to score like movie scenes in your head, kind of.
Yeah,
Or,
so like
situations.
if I listen to like rap or something and I feel very like powerful listening to it, maybe it'll be like me walking down the street with like some cool clothes on or something, you know, like while I'm singing a song or something. That's what kind of I imagine, but also just for like usually rap it's a little bit more like of a braggadocious scene, you know, but
Like you're smoking
starting to
crack or
use cool words
something,
now.
walking down the.
No, not smoking.
Wait, is that braggadocious? I feel
What,
like that's
smoking
just
crack?
irresponsible.
Hey, listen, in controlled amounts, I think it's okay. You know?
Crack?
This podcast does not endorse that. No crack
kidding.
smoking.
I don't actually. I was gonna sound like I do it now. Okay, no, guys, I'm actually not endorsing it. Okay. But anyways, but like if it's for like a, I'm trying to think of a song specifically that's like not rap. I can't right now, but maybe it's still. I think because I'm like, I think mostly because I like a lot of attention and because oh my gosh, I'm blanking so hard. It's because I like a lot of attention, like eyes on me sometimes. Most of the time when I think of stuff, even if it's not rap, it's still like scenes where like I'm like the center of attention. I know that sounds really, really conceited.
That sounds so
No, that's-
narcissistic.
No,
like,
no,
what
that's,
else am I gonna
you're
think
the main
of?
character,
Right.
man. Everybody,
Yeah,
has a little
it's just
ego
like-
boost, you know.
We're all
It's
supporting
just like
cast.
no. It's just when like I'm listening to music, it like is what like I'm feeling at that moment. You know, that's like more of what it is.
See, I'll
if that
set
makes
up like
sense.
environments around me. Like if I listen to like jazz or something, I always
Oh,
feel like I'm like sitting somewhere like super
Ah,
serene.
yeah.
Or, like,
Yeah.
I always imagine like I'm in like a basement with some like people just playing jazz on the other side or things like that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
See, that's cool. I like that. Too.
Yeah, I think in terms of like if I heard jazz and I closed my eyes and I really thought about it, I'd be like, very like blue and like purple and you know the
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
darker hues. Yeah. Bro, we
'Cause
should write
you
a
don't know
paper about
that.
this. No, we should.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna write a fucking paper.
No, not that. I had a friend who like put up a poll and was like, "Does everyone like someone just told me they think of like scenes or something when they listen to music, but I never do this. Like, is this a thing?" And it's like funny how just like you think you listen to music in the same way as like everybody else until you like actually start talking to other
Right.
people and you're like, "What?"
Yeah,
Because you're like, "Colors? What do you?" No, that's not what I did. But then it's just like music's such a weird because it's only audio. Well, we'll just say like music itself is only audio.
it lets your brain
But,
do
like,
a lot more work.
Yes, which is like the interesting part,
Mhm.
which is the really crazy part, which I like thinking about too. But
Yeah, fascinating. Also, dude, the album art for all of the color EPs for this it's really. Do you know who they got to do the art? Is it all like one person or?
I'm pretty sure it's all one person. I don't know
Dude.
his name off the top of my head, but I was reading a little bit about it.
It's good. I mean, some of them like they're cool, but there's not much going on. Like the black one's just kind of a bunch of stuff. You know, makes you think of like a void, and then like the white one's like some topographical stuff. But like, I really like the red and the violet ones.
I love
Those were
yellow.
really cool.
Yellow looks cool too.
I also like the yellow one a lot.
Orange, I think orange has got to be my favorite.
The dog.
Shiba on it.
Yeah.
The Shiba. The
Just a beautiful dog.
they are beautiful dogs. Yeah, I don't know. Like all of, I like the painting
Green's
of the
pretty good,
green
too.
one. How it's got like the
Yeah.
forest scene in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was all really cool. But I don't know. I think that my favorite of the EPs, like the favorite color, I think red was my favorite.
Nick, what was your favorite?
I think I liked yellow, blue, and indigo the most. But I probably
I
like.
was gonna guess that you're.
I think I like blue the most. Either
Oh,
blue or
man, I was
yellow.
gonna guess yellow was your favorite.
They're,
What about
they're,
you,
they're
Jordan?
like neck and neck.
I think yellow was my favorite, but also there's another one that I really like too. I think it was green.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's surprising. The green was like the most country-y to me.
The country-ish,
Yeah.
folkish one.
It's just
Yeah.
so
Maybe-
much Telecaster in there and stuff.
Maybe it wasn't. I think it was green. I can't. I know yellow was my favorite though. I know yellow was definitely my favorite. It had a little bit of a not. I always feel bad like giving adjectives to, like music, because then if someone like disagrees with me, I'm like, oh man, now we're like.
Well, but it's all like personal.
Yeah, it seemed like more that like it seemed more like that like spatial kind of like psychedelic kind.
Over Indigo? I feel like Indigo is more like
Indigo is the most
like atmospheric.
Yeah.
Okay.
The most heavy. Instrumental kind of.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I agree with you. I just thought Yellow was kind of like that too.
I can see it a little bit. Yellow was definitely like the first time in the album. Okay, so like, I didn't really like any of the Black EP. It's too industrial prog rock for me.
Yeah, I think me too.
It's definitely my least favorite.
Like, from a different ways to make music, it is interesting. Like, there's a lot of interesting sounds on it, but that's not the kind of thing that I just sit and listen to. And I like Red a lot, because it still had kind of the anger that it felt like from the Black album. It was just like closer to regular like hard rock instead of like the weird thigh slapping in one of the songs on the Black EP or whatever that sound is.
It's like
it sounds like someone's hitting like an oil barrel. I don't know.
Yeah. At first, I was like, it sounds like he's ham boning or something, like from Victorious. but then I was like, it sounds like something more solid. I couldn't think of what it was.
Yeah.
But the first time I listened to Black, the first one or two times, I didn't like it a whole lot. And then when I put it on right before we recorded this, I was like, wow, I like this more than I did the first couple times for some reason. Wait. We have someone interrupting the podcast right now.
Yeah, Leo is on my camera right now. Dude, what is wrong with you? Chill out. Yeah, and so, but then the Red, like, I wrote, it was still angry, but closer to general hard rock. And I think that was my favorite of the EPs, which is weird, because I think of myself as someone who, like, I feel like looking at myself, I would have guessed that I would have said, like, green or blue. But I just really like the Red. I don't know. Okay. A side note on the Red. While I was listening to it, in my head, I was like, this sounds so much like Andy Hull from Manchester Orchestra. I was like, because he's got a distinct voice. And I was like, this sound like, if this is the same person singing on the Black album, this was like the first time I listened to it, so I didn't really hear the range. I was like, oh my God. And then it wasn't until I was looking at the Wikipedia that I saw that it is in fact him. He did vocals for the first 3 songs on the Red EP. And I was like, yes.
Wow,
I am an actual fan.
Mega fan.
Yeah, Casey just like met him at a place called the Knitting Factory in New York. And
interesting.
Yeah, and like after that he was just like Andy, like he knew like that he wanted him to be a part of Red.
Because it makes it, I mean, like, especially if this came out in 2011, that was before Cope, so that was after stuff like Wolves at Night and Simple Math and stuff, which is very similar to especially the red, orange, and yellow sound of this album. So I'm not surprised that he, knew him and was like, hey, come collab. Because him singing on it sounds like a softer core Manchester Orchestra song.
I was gonna say, yeah, all those things you were saying, those were Manchester Orchestra albums.
Yeah, so maybe that's why I like the Red one the most. I don't know. But then the orange one, that's where you start to hear.
Orange is my favorite.
Orange was probably my second favorite, because that's where
I love Orange.
They bring in the organ. All the beats are a little like there's some funk to them a little bit more. And definitely, the Orange definitely has my favorite of any of the like guitar solos in particular.
I was about to say that Echo, like it has that really, really cool guitar solo. Mm-hmm. and then just like there's like that beat throughout that's just like steady through the whole time, and just, it's a fantastic song.
Yeah, I think my top 5 tracks was Deny It All, and We've Got a Score to Settle off the Red album, and then Echo and A Sea of Solid Earth on Orange, and then Home off of White. I actually really like that song too.
Home is, yeah, me too. Home really brings White up for me. Like, White's usually not my favorite, but Home is just like it helps bring that whole EP up.
Yeah, I think like where it kind of started to lose me was like, I don't know, it was weird. I liked Violet. I really liked the album cover of it, and the whole album. It's not a country sound like the Green EP, but have you guys ever listened to the Decemberists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only listened to like the Octoberists.
Okay. Yeah. Red October. You like that movie?
No.
The Hunt for It.
Big Novemberist.
The Novemberists.
But the Decemberists are very good. They're like an Oregon. That's weird to say that.
Wait, like
the state, like they're from
okay,
Oregon.
okay.
Yeah, I was wondering.
They're like a hipster folk Americana thing.
Okay.
And Violet, they sounded kind of like that type of music, which I normally really like, but I don't know.
All right, so if you like Violet, then you should listen to his other albums, Acts 2 and 3.
Okay.
Those are pretty similar to Violet. Violet's like almost like classic Deer Hunter.
Oh,
like
okay.
The Axe. So if like that's like almost a representative. Like when I think of the different like categories for each color, like Violet, I just think like Deer Hunter. I don't think like a genre. So like if you like that, I'd give them a listen. Yeah.
So you would say that like that's the most representative of their
of like their other discography. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't hate it. I think Black was the only one that I actively didn't enjoy.
Yeah, I think it was more Black and Red for me, just because you guys know I don't like rock that much. Like Craig, it's nothing against you. It's just rock is very hard.
I knew you were a rap guy. Yeah,
I know.
So Jordan, how did you feel about White then? Because to me, White sounded the most like modern rock.
Yeah, White was still just kind of. It just seemed I don't want to, because all these are supposed to like fit a certain genre, kind of not it doesn't like say that, but like it's obviously like
it's like fit a mood kind of thing.
Yeah, it just seemed kind of like White just kind of like washed together for me, and it didn't seem. Again, that's why I haven't mentioned it yet, because Craig, this is totally just a me thing. I promise I'm not meaning to like offend you at all.
No problem. I still want to hear like what you have to say. Yeah.
Just an off comment, as like an art piece, I think this album is like beautiful. Just like how because I've never even like heard of an artist doing this, and maybe it's because I'm mainstream or something.
Well, I think it's just the genres you listen to. It like isn't as like you don't listen to indie music, and that's typically the kind of band who will make stuff like this.
True, there's not a whole lot of concept drill albums. You know? Like there are concept rap albums, but in like the New York drill scene.
Yeah, probably not see that.
Yeah, there's not much. But yeah, so White was just kind of like another meh part of it for me. But it's because I think Red was a little more like it was a little more intense of like the strings and the guitars and like the like from the little classic rock that I've heard, that seemed a little more like the, you could actually like it was just a little more harder, I think.
Yeah, dirtier tones, kind of louder instrumentation. Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt with White too. Except like I said, except for Home. I actually really liked Home. And I think that they nailed listening to, like, I didn't really read the lyrics of it, but what I caught in listening to it, I think that, the songs did, if his goal was to make it end on a more like positive and kind of hopeful-ish like outlook, I think that he succeeded in his goal. It just, for whatever reason, the 3 or 4 times I listened to it, it just didn't strike a chord with me, just for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, I still liked it, but I do think that one sounded the most like, I don't know, not like another band per se, but just the general kind of newer modern rock sound, like thinking along the lines of how like what is it, Walls by Kings of Leon, like just from an instrumentation standpoint, not like vocally or anything, but it just gives the same kind of feeling.
Yeah, that you're saying Home sounds kind of like Walls, not Home, White.
Yeah, just White in
White
general.
EP.
Yeah, I think that it sounds like that kind of sound.
I could see that
a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Which normally I feel like I would like more. Just for whatever reason, listening to the album front to back, it never really stuck with me, except for Home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the biggest... I think the EP that gave me the strongest feeling of another band on the whole collection was probably Indigo, the one that was more electronic and like,
very instrument
more
heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gave me like a bit of a Radiohead vibe just because of the like electronic and rock fusion aspects. And I feel like I brought
a
up
Radiohead guy, so
I've become the Radiohead
right now,
guy.
so.
I just wanted to listen to Radiohead because I knew they had this like epic musical status, and like I said, I'm not even a huge fan of like where they went crazy electronic experimental. Kid A, the first one, it's pretty good. But the two after,
I think it's just the fact that it's taken you so long to work your way through it that like it's just been the course of like 2 or 3 weeks. And so it keeps getting brought up, but it's just because like you're not sitting there constantly listening to it. It just happens to like that's what you've just been doing for like on and off for the past 3 weeks.
I still haven't listened to the last album. I need to do that. But yeah, I have done a chronological listen through so far. But anyways, just the electronical aspects. Electronical aspects. Reminded me of radio.
I can see it. Like from the very limited amount of Radiohead that I've heard that's not Creep.
Yeah. In their more electronic albums and in their second newest album, they deal with like loops of rhythms and stuff and like long drawn out notes. Tom York, the singer, he likes to do that with his vocals, and because of the sound of his voice, it sounds like it almost blends with the instruments, and I kind of got that feeling from just some of the repetitive vocals and the more like kind of psychedelic aspects of Indigo. Like there's a part in the song, I think Mandala
where something.
Yeah. In the beginning of it, he says, "I lost my place in the world. It left me behind. Now my soul is unbound, and my mind is free to roam around and around." It's like ego death in music, you know. It's interesting.
The soul is detaching.
Yeah,
literally my one note for Indigo was super spacey. Lots of instruments, very instrumental.
Wow. So my notes actually start the same exact way. It says super spacey, and then honestly, all the songs have the same feel. It's like hard for me to distinguish between.
Yeah, I swear I listened to one song and it was like I listened to like the entirety of Indigo and I was like, wait, okay,
yeah. Like if you played any of them right now, I'd just say Indigo. I wouldn't be able to like tell you which one probably.
Yeah, I was surprised that there are vocals. I didn't even realize that there were really vocals on that album until Nick just said that.
When I was surprised after my first listen through, I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I think I like Yellow and Blue are probably my favorites. And then when I looked up the lyrics and stuff on Genius, it says they were made with the same band. Naive Thieves, I think, was like the band. And they have relatively different sounds, like relatively different feelings at least. Blue feels a little more melancholy to me and not sparsely instrumental, but like more
just not as much as Yellow. Yeah, like Yellow I think was the most cheery sounding album.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about Yellow real quick. I'm going to jump in here.
Okay.
So
no, you got it.
The lyrics for Yellow, they're so like opposite of like the feel I get from Yellow.
Really?
Like when you like look up the lyrics, like let's see, like the Dead Don't Starve. It's like all about greed and stuff like that. Asua Vo, I don't know how to pronounce it. That one's about like a relationship that's like falling apart. But like all of these, they sound so happy, and like I always like get a happy feel, like no, like not independent of the lyrics.
Yeah.
But like when you read about it, it's like, wait, that's what it's about. Like I didn't even know that till like I actually looked up the lyrics.
Interesting. So it's like, it's one of those. Okay.
So it's just like the instruments, like whether those like sound happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I never really, with all of these, I didn't really sit down and look at the lyrics for this album just because there was like, so much.
Yeah.
There was a lot to.
So it's funny because I didn't even catch that listening to it. I was just like, oh, this is like the cheery section. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I thought
like
that for
yellow
the longest time.
The color and stuff. Yeah, and then the green one is like, I don't know. It sounds so country. Like yeah, like just super.
I believe you.
Lots of like Telecasters in the background doing like different country rhythm lines. Everything's in like B minor and stuff.
I think that there's a little lap steel guitar in it.
Yeah, I think at one point there is too.
I think
maybe it's throwing me off that he doesn't have a country accent, and that's why like I'm not convinced that it's like country.
Oh really? Yeah, because it's all but that.
It's got like a harmonica and stuff that kind of cements it as country to me.
I also don't listen to like a ton of country, so you could I feel like I could easily get fooled with just saying this guy just being like, oh hey, this is just listen to this and see what you think of it, and then I'd be like, oh well, he doesn't have a country accent, so this can't be country, obviously. But I mean, obviously,
well, so yeah, I mean that's also could be. I could see that even more because if you're not in the in group of listening to the different nuances and sub genres of like the country umbrella, then you probably would just, when you hear country, you probably think of like whatever's on the like radio, and that's I like don't even think about that because that's like a weird pop country thing. Like I think of like Chris Stapleton and like Jason Isbell and stuff, and they get played on the radio some, but it's like it's a different subgenre, and this would fall into more of that, like the modern but not radio country-ish sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Blue, I said it was very chill and laid back, but there's still like every now and then there are parts where there's a little bit of tension and dissonance. Like it's not all just relaxing. There's parts in it where there's like
the word I used was like ethereal.
Mm-hmm.
At least for Tripping in Triplets, like that song.
Yeah. Like
that's what the feel that I get. So it's not like completely like relaxing.
Right. Yeah. There's some parts where they'll throw in like it's the kind of thing where if you're not really listening, you're like, did they hit a wrong note? But if you are listening, you're like, okay, no, it was just like a, out of key thing to add just that little bit of like, we're not all chill. There's a little tension. Yeah, and then Indigo is just like super spaced out instrumental stuff, which is how I think of like Blue and Indigo as colors. Like Indigo is the weirdest color to me.
Yeah,
out of all,
you mean like looking wise or sounding wise?
I mean, it's like it's so close to blue, and then it's a little not blue.
Are you having problems with like physical colors?
Well, no, but
I mean
like,
it is on Roy G.
You don't like them?
It's the least talked about Roy G. Biv.
It is
color,
Indigo is the least. Yes, it is the least talked about. Some people don't even throw it in the Roy G. Biv.
No, some people do.
They leave it out like Pluto. Because like
Pluto's not actually.
Yeah, some people like Nick. Do you even know the difference between indigo, blue, and purple?
I was about to say I really don't think that I could recognize indigo.
No,
I think I would
so
just call
close
it
to
blue or violet. Yeah, because I'm like kind of colorblind, but it's not like diagnosable red-green colorblind. Yeah. They just showed me the book with all the little dots in it in the eye doctor's office. And some of the pages, I was like, there's no numbers there. And he was like, yeah, there are. And I was like, "You're straight up lying right now. There's literally no
Yo,
numbers on
stop the cap, eye doctor. Yeah,
But-
so see,
Cap.
But
yeah,
yeah, ever since I was
indigo's a
little-
weak color.
Yeah, ever since I was little, blues and purples, they get mixed up.
Yeah,
And
it's
navies
all-
and blacks sometimes too.
Yeah, so indigo,
That
get
sucks
that
to
out
have,
of there.
like, that sucks to have like color blindness like as a child, because most people don't get checked for color blindness like as a child. So
Yeah, because
I
like
didn't.
because your brain, like, you learn what red is, but red's just not what
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
is regularly
You-
seen.
yeah, you like can't, and you don't even know to communicate that either.
Right, because to
But-
you it's like, oh well, that's just red.
That's just rich.
Like, it's not like if your eyes are out of focus and you're walking into shit like I was as a kid. Like,
You don't wear glasses, do you?
what?
I've never
Ja-
seen you wear glasses ever before.
I've worn
Jamie's
glasses since I
vision
was
is
in
like-
first grade.
Yeah, Jamie's vision is like
We wear
really,
contacts
really
now,
bad
then.
without his contacts.
Yeah, but like there are
I don't
times
think
when I
I've ever-
forget to refill my contacts and then I have to wear glasses for like 2 weeks.
I feel like I've never seen you wear glasses.
I've worn
ever
glasses on this
before.
podcast.
I don't think you have, bro.
Well, the last time it happened was in like
September.
September.
Stop the cat.
Anyways,
What album was
we'll-
it? Huh?
We'll
Huh?
talk about that. Yeah,
I can pull up the
yeah,
spreadsheet.
Jamie.
I don't know. I don't know what happened last week, let alone what we did in September.
Honestly,
I think Jordan's audio got fucked up in September, maybe.
it's almost like
Shut up,
September
you
was
just wanted to
last
bring that
year,
up.
dude. Holy cat!
September what?
Wait,
Dude, don't date the podcast like that.
Yeah, Nick.
wait, what?
I don't know.
Just cut it out.
Censor him.
No, raw pod, raw
Raw,
pod.
uncut pod.
uncut pod.
That is our culture here. Yes.
Yes. As I cut, like, yeah, I like to talk about how we don't cut things right after I cut other things. It's a small joy of mine. I don't know. Do I have any other? I don't even know if I have any other notes. I was so this is the most general I've been with it, just because it was so hard to like triage what to really like get into.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I liked it.
I did want to say, like, just as an art piece, Craig,
Mhm.
I like really enjoyed this. Like, even though I didn't enjoy it, like every single album on this, like, I enjoyed just like what they did for this whole entire thing.
Craig, he said
It was
that
just, like,
twice. That means
amazing.
he's
Yeah,
gonna
like-
give it like a 2.
Okay, no, bro.
Already
Just like
apologizing.
apologize hard first. Yeah. I like my feelings aren't
This
hurt.
was the best album I've ever heard. It deserves a 1. So there you go.
Honestly, bro.
I recognize the cultural importance, but because of my personal taste, I
1.
have to give it a 0.
Absolute trash.
Our first ever
Just
0.
absolute.
Imagine what would it
That's so
take
bad.
to? I don't think I would ever like rate anything as 0. Maybe I would. I mean, there's some stuff that I just would hate to listen to, but
Nah, I don't think I could be that. I don't think I could. Either
Yeah,
be
because a
0.
0
I'd
to
probably
me
go
would
down
be
to-
like literally like unlistenable garbage.
yeah,
Yes.
It would at least get like a half.
Just because like
So-
someone else has to like it, so you're like, yeah, give
Right,
it a half
like-
for them.
Yeah.
Nick's country albums. Are we not? Do we not remember?
No,
it
those?
was
Or-
just Willie Nelson, right? Was
Yeah,
that the
exactly.
only country album I picked?
Yeah.
I'm just
I
kidding.
tell you, we're the only
Probably. I
one,
was just.
yeah.
I was just messing with you.
I gave it a 6.
That was a
that's pretty
that was a bold first podcast choice. I almost
It-
feel like I should have picked something else.
No,
It was a choice.
It was a choice. Yes.
It was a choice.
Yeah, Jordan gave it a 3.
What? Of course I did it. What are you talking about?
That's
Uh,
understandable.
Is that 3?
Still a
Um,
Willie head. Still a big Willie
A
guy.
Nelson.
No,
head.
yeah. I got you.
You like Willies? You're a big Willie guy?
Big Willie fella.
Big
He's a big Willie fella. He's a big Willie fella.
Gotcha.
Wet Willie guy.
No one's a wet Willie guy. Absolutely not. I refuse to believe that narrative. It's like the worst thing in the
Flashbacks.
world.
When, everybody, real quick, when was the last time you got wet willy?
Was self-inflicted or other person inflicted?
Self-inflicted,
If
right?
you've ever given yourself a wet willy, you're off the podcast. You can't come back.
No, I honestly don't know. I'm sure Vic did it or something.
I was kidding.
She's
Crazy. It was a joke.
That's why we had to put it
Yeah.
down.
Oh, Vic.
Oh, Craig, I don't know if you know or
Sorry,
if Nick
Vic.
told you, but we have to kill you after this.
Oh, is that like that's like the ritual?
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah.
I
that's
give
the
my
part.
score and then just like
No,
that's it.
it'll be after we cut audio. Got to make sure you like export it and
Oh.
upload it and everything.
Oh, got it. Of course.
So
Yeah,
sometime
yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
guess it's up to Nick. You know, since he's the closest in proximity, he'll probably do it. So
It just
that's-
makes sense.
Your life is in his hands now. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so.
Got it.
So sorry
Yeah,
you
we
had to
should
find
really
out.
start
this
telling
way,
guests
Craig.
that before
I forgot.
they
To
come on the show. Yeah.
It seems like
Oh my gosh.
Jamie almost forgot about it until like right now. We
I
almost
did.
spared
Not-
your life. Craig.
I knew.
Jamie almost let you live, bro.
Well, no, we just wouldn't have told him. It would have been a surprise.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
It was a surprise death. Kind of like a
Oh,
surprise
surpri-
party.
Yeah. Exactly.
Surprise.
Surprise! Your
You're
life
dead.
is done.
Some fries. You're dead.
It's your time
Some
to come.
fries.
So Craig, do you have any other anything you really want to share with us? Since what do you want to tell us?
Well, I don't know about anything like I specifically want to tell you, but we already went over our favorite colors.
Mhm.
But I want to hear everyone's like top 3 colors. 'Cause,
Top
like,
3
I was,
colors.
let me think of mine. I'd probably say
Okay.
like orange, blue. See, yellow and green are so good. One of those probably.
Craig just names every single color.
Like indigo, like violet.
Oh man, violet's so good.
I think my top 3 would be red and orange. Like not really in any particular order. Maybe depending on the day, I would choose one over the other. But those are definitely my top 2. And I don't know. Maybe either. Probably blue. Probably red, orange, and blue would be my top 3. I think.
Big red, white, and blue guy. I
A
just love our
patriot.
country.
These colors don't run.
These colors don't
No,
run.
Is that your actual?
Authentically-
Is that your actual? Okay.
Authentically, I think blue, yellow, and it's between orange and violet. I think blue, yellow, orange.
Oh.
No, not violet. Not violet. I meant indigo. But I think I'd say blue, yellow, orange. Indigo is good, but I kind of had to be in the mood for it.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I need a mood for indigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that kind of genre for sure.
Yeah, I like. Oh wait, is it my turn or is
Yeah,
is
it's your
everybody
turn.
gone yet? Okay, I like violet a lot, and I like yellow a lot. And I was gonna say I feel like I decently like green, but now you guys are telling me it's a country album. Just like,
Well, but if you
Now
like
that,
it,
now
that
that
just
you're
means you like
aware.
it.
maybe I just hate country accents. Maybe that's all this is exposed.
How are we friends, Jordan? How are we friends if you hate country accents?
You do not. Yours is not country. You have a southern, but it's not country. It's not
Okay.
Hey, good. Wow, that was the worst. I feel
That
even
sounded
better.
like a
That was
cartoon
horrible.
character.
Okay,
Yeah,
You sounded like
yeah,
a
let's
goofy.
just you can anyways. So I'd probably say green or orange would probably be my like last. So between that one of those.
So what was your in a succinct? What was your 3, Jordan?
Yellow, then violet, then like green or orange at the bottom.
Interesting. I would
Okay.
not have pegged you as a violet guy. I think
Really?
I think that your issue is country accents then.
It definitely
Because
it
if
probably
you like
is.
green and violet, like violet straight up sounds like Oregon folk music. And kind
But
of like
see,
show
his
tunes,
voice-
which was weird. It was a weird dichotomy in my head.
I think it's folk.
Yeah,
Violet?
I think. Yeah.
Ish.
Maybe-
Oh,
Yeah.
Ish.
Debate
I was
time.
saying ish on the end of that. We'll
Craig's the resident deer
we'll
hunter
find a
expert.
playlist where we can find some no country accent but still like country America.
There was just,
folk
like-
music and see. We're gonna test you.
there's just a lot more piano in it than like usually. I feel like country's a little more like guitar centered, or like not like banjo, because I don't want to say there's a banjo in every single country
but
song.
If you throw a banjo in there, it's probably a good song.
We'll see. We'll check out later. But
we're gonna devise a test for you.
It just didn't seem okay. Yeah, it just didn't seem that country to me. It's just I like the piano in it a lot in the Violet album. I think that's what stood it out to me.
I think Violet might have had my favorite cover, like album cover. That
it was a good
that one in
red.
red.
It was a good one.
But I don't know.
I like yellow.
Violet, it didn't really do it for me. I don't know.
Okay, bro, we get it. You hate good music, dog. All right. No, I'm just kidding.
Jamie hates piano music.
Dude,
Jamie hates Billy Joel.
Fucking hate pianos.
Light piano music in the background. Anybody remember that?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into it because it's inappropriate. But
wait, I do not understand the context of this reference. But
so
I'll tell you after.
Am I the only one who actively didn't like one of the EPs?
I mean, I really did. Black and Red, I just didn't really enjoy a whole lot, and then White just seemed kind of washed to me. Like, again, it's just literally the rock and like the industrial sound I didn't really like, but also I didn't really like the rock either, just because I'm not a huge rock fan. But
what about Nick and Craig? Do you guys have a least favorite?
Bruh, Craig said he loves everything on this album.
Okay, yeah, I used to not like Black. Like every single time, I just like skip over Black and start at Red. But like the more I listen to it, like if I was like click play like real quick and like it'll listen to or like play through it, like it's grown on me definitely. It's still like not my favorite. It's still like the bottom, but it's grown on me. I don't like actively dislike it anymore.
Maybe I just have to try it more because I act like it was the same thing for me where I was like I kind of want to like skip this.
Like This Body, like that's a pretty good song. I like that one.
I think that's probably
like
my of the four. That was the one that I found like the most enjoyment or close to enjoyment.
Close to enjoyment.
Approaching enjoyment.
I don't know. I recognize that genre of music for what it is. Like it's cool, you're pushing sonic boundaries, but I don't want the envelope pushed for me in that way. I don't know.
I understand.
Nick, what about you?
My least favorite, probably White, but I liked Home.
Really? Yeah,
and it's strange saying that because we compared it to Walls, Kings of Leon's newest album.
Right.
That's probably one of my least favorite albums of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
remember you saying that whenever it first came out.
Yeah, but it's grown on me a lot. Either White or Violet, but I think I need to give Violet another listen because it's hard for me to just imagine.
Remember it?
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, I did enjoy like several parts of pretty much every EP on the collection.
Yeah.
So you have the most open palette.
I'd say so. Would that be a general trend in the podcast? It'd definitely be me or you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Probably. No, it's Jordan.
Oh, wow! You guys really just
say Dane Jordan. Like,
really
expand your Jordan.
Palette. Look, we're working on it. Jordan now, way more open than Jordan at the start of this podcast. I think.
Yeah,
I'd say
true.
True.
I'll say that.
The ratings,
also,
I would say so.
Yeah, I think it's also we're helping you to like be able to identify what you like in it. Like your epiphany that you're like, oh man, harmony is like a thing that I really enjoy. Stuff like that. So that's all it is. We're all helping each other, broadening horizons.
Broadening our horizons.
Expanding your horizon? I don't know. Whatever.
Broadening.
Bring me the horizon.
Bring me the horizon. And let me be vertical.
Oh, who's in Paris?
Oh.
Alexa, can you play that song by Kanye about the guys?
Someone else said that joke to me this week. Also,
dude, it's funny. I like that joke.
I was with these two guys and they were like, "Jordan, who was in Paris?" Like
the resident.
I was like, "I can't."
Okay, so then, does anyone else have any other notes before we somehow fit a numerical rating on this?
Oh, trust me, it's easy.
Oh, here comes that
I'm
2.
kidding, Craig.
Here comes that 2.
that -1.
Can we do negative numbers? Do you have any final thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, nothing
Okay.
else.
Well then, as the picker of this album, the selector, I guess, you can take first crack at it.
All right. Do I talk about like why, or just like give it a number?
That's up to you. Either way, you can be as brief or expositionary.
Expositional, I think.
Exponential.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have. I think I talked about like a lot about like why I liked it and stuff. So I'll just give a number. I'll say 8.
8 out of 10.
I think it's definitely like a solid album. I enjoy like almost everything, but again, like that almost, that's like why I won't give it like a 9 or a 10. There's like albums I think I like more, and again, like the whole point of this album is that like I felt like it's a little bit of everything, and like that's what I like to listen to. I don't feel like I'm listening to 2.5 hours of like the same music.
Yeah,
which is what I enjoy about it too. So I don't have to like choose like I want to listen to like just rock right now. I can put this on, get a little bit of everything, even if there's still like a general theme of the band almost. But
yeah,
I can see that for sure. I could definitely. Yeah, it's kind of like a charcuterie board of music.
Yeah.
I love charcuterie boards. Can that be a favorite meal? Cause it.
I don't know. Is it a meal?
All right, we'll see about that one. All right, so Nick or Jordan, who's going?
I'll go, I guess.
Am I going last because I'm revealing the next
You're right.
album?
Yeah. So
okay,
Jordan. Sorry, Leo just like yelled. You good, buddy? Weird. So Jordan, if you want, you can go. And then yes, since guest week is ending, Nick will go last because he is going to tell us what we're going to listen to. Just me, Jordan, and Nick next week. So Jordan,
all right, I'll probably
you can't listen
just music wise and art wise. I'll give it a 5.
Oh,
okay.
Hell of a lot better than a 2.
It is a lot better than a 2.
I'll probably. Yeah, so when I listen to this album again from like after this week, I'll probably just listen to like the select EPs that I liked rather than the whole, because I don't really envision me sitting down and listening to like the whole album more. But I definitely, there were like, I liked 3 or 4 of the EPs enough to where I saved them to my library individually. I don't know. I'll probably, and I also enjoy the concept, so I think I'm gonna give it a 6.5 because half of it I really enjoyed, and then the other half I wasn't so hot on. But I still, I really enjoy the concept and execution. I think they nailed exactly what they were going for. Just some of it wasn't for like me per se, but I think as far as like concept, ideation, and then execution, this is like right on the money. Like everything on it, I was like, yeah, this totally makes sense. Except for apparently the lyrics on Yellow. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. So then, Nick, what is your rating?
I'll round us out. I was gonna give it a 6, but I think I'm gonna give it a 7 because it's like a 6 on personal enjoyment overall, but a 7 for an added point for the ambition of the whole thing.
I see. All right, and that will bring us to. Let me see if it's tied for it. Nope. So it is going to be coming in at 24, but
the ranking system
with the asterisk of like a bunch of stuff is tied for 6. So then 7th place is actually 10 according to Excel. I gotta figure out a way to do that. Okay. So, but that puts it. Oh, I lost it. Oh my god. So that puts it between White Bronco and Sound and Fury, both picked by Nick.
Oh,
in like the upper half. So yeah,
even the data put Craig and I together. It's crazy. Our on again, off again roommate relationship.
It's truly fate.
Oh,
I'll see you again in 2 years, Nick. All right.
Yeah, we'll just
You
wind
gotta
up in the
take a
same
year
place
off and
somehow.
then- yeah. So then, Nick, what will our threesome be listening to next week?
So next week we're gonna listen to a band, one of my favorite bands that I will love for a long time, but
Oh
have
God, it's
somehow
Radiohead.
never no that somehow I haven't picked for the podcast yet. And I was gonna pick my favorite album by them, but then I decided to pick the album that I listened to by them the least, just so I can have more exposure to it. I listened to a little bit of it this week just to make sure I still really enjoyed it, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I remember enjoying. So the album is Stories Don't End by Dawes.
Oh,
And-
okay.
I'm gonna see that it's not country,
hmm
but it's kind of folk rock, but it's also kind of really
Interesting.
piano driven in some areas. I almost want to say it's country rock, but the genre of country rock itself is kind of strange to define. It's like the
Right.
Eagles and what can I think? Kind of My Morning Jacket. I don't know, but you'll see if you listen to it. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
let's see what Google says that it's genred.
I would say like folk rock almost.
That's Google says folk rock, comma rock. So we'll say folk rock.
folk rock, comma rock.
Folk rock,
I'm
comma
an
folk
encyclopedia
rock
baby.
squared.
There you go.
Interesting. Yeah. And Dawes is one of the bands that like you really like them, but I just have never really listened to a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I like what I've heard for the most part, but I just have never really fully checked it out. So now I will get to.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, are you familiar?
I've heard Nick talk about him
Mhm.
before, but I think that's if you're dicing music wise, I don't know anything about them.
Gotcha. Interesting. So we'll take a yep. Oh, it's that album.
It's not this album.
Okay.
That's
I was
their
like,
first album.
I don't think
but
it's that album.
The first vinyl I ever got was a Dawes album. It was a reissue of their first.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he's lying.
I bought it before
He's
You lie.
I bought it before I even had a record player.
Yeah, I did that with Zeppelin
That's how
4
stupid
and
I
Ain't No
was.
Rest for. Technically, I don't have a record player. I'm just borrowing my dad's.
Ain't no. Hey,
That's how it is.
whatever way you get your stuff, you know.
Yeah, so then I guess we will round this out with what we've been listening to. I actually have been listening to. It was kind of directly related because of listening to this album and how long it is. And in my head, I was just like, one day thinking about other concept albums, kind of. And then I remembered my love for the 2020 Complete Experience, which is another 2.5 hour long musical journey. It might be almost 3.
Dang.
But it's a master work of like sound producing and having one song transition without you really noticing it into the next song. Love that album. Let's see, what else have I been listening to? Some Manchester Orchestra. I was put back on that by listening to Andy on the Red EP. Honestly, that's mainly it. I think. I don't think I've ever listened to anything other like noteworthy other than like the normal daily mixes or whatever. Oh, I took another look at Yeezus and I still only like half of those songs. I thought since I was coming around to more like Hold My Liquor, I've been really like kind of playing that kind of on repeat.
Okay.
And I thought I was warming up to it overall, and then I listened to it and still could only listen to half of On Site before I had to skip it because I cannot stand that song.
What?
Nick, I know you said that there are moods where you can listen to it. I don't think I have those moods that I can listen to that song. I really
Wait,
On
On
Site is
Site?
top
On
3
Site.
songs on Yeezus.
I'll listen to it.
I can't.
I'll listen.
I
It's like
cannot.
it's second or third because Bound 2 is first.
It's the
Okay,
bottom
okay.
of my least favorite Kanye album.
Yeah,
It's my
Jesus
least favorite
is-
song.
I
by
still haven't even
Kanye.
listened to it, but Oh, your least favorite song like ever?
Maybe.
I mean, History of Songs ever.
Like by Kanye?
Or that
Maybe.
intro.
No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
The just
No.
legendary.
Absolutely not. I will not stand for on site being lifted.
Okay, but what I've been listening to, I've listened to more of the Smart List podcast. A little bit of another podcast I like called Yeah, But Still, ran by Brandon Mordell.
Is that the okay?
Yeah, but and music wise, I kind of rediscovered this girl who makes kind of indie music. Her name's Faye Webster. Her first album is kind of country, but then she ventures into like she blends country elements with kind of pop and almost like, I'm not sure what you would say the genre is, but it's just really relaxing music. But she's got some good stuff. And I have Sound and Color, the Alabama Shakes album, on vinyl now. I listen to that. Great album.
Nice.
But that pretty much sums it up. Jordan, Craig.
I've been trying to listen to my daily mixes or my weekly mixes, my Discover Weekly.
Yeah.
I've had a few songs by like Sleepy Hollow, this new guy Dusty Locane too, who's supposed to like sound like Pop Smoke, but nothing can never fill a void. But it's okay. Then other than that, just a lot of Pop Smoke still.
Gotcha.
I swear, if I'm not in his like top 1%, I'm gonna be so mad.
We'll see come this November, December.
Yeah, December usually.
Craig, what have you been listening to?
Well, today I've been on a Calio grind. The AB album, 10 out of 10.
I love that album.
That
That album's so good.
Oh yeah. But yeah, through my Discover Weekly and stuff, pretty much. Some Matt Mason songs.
Ooh, you're a Mason guy.
A couple songs. I'm not like super into like as an artist. But...
Vic and her sister were big into him. I've seen him in concert actually.
Oh really? Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some it's like a, I don't know if anyone heard of Bear Ghost.
I don't think so.
It's like, okay, I would say like it's a super acquired taste band.
Okay.
I heard it the first time. I was like, this is like hot garbage. And like now I'm like, oh man, this slaps. This is so good.
Maybe I'll take a listen. What'd you say it was? The Bear Ghost?
Yeah, it's just Bear Ghost. Yeah,
like the animal
called,
Bear Ghost.
Yeah, like the animal. And there's an album called Blasterpiece. Like I guess if you want, I'll give you a starter song. Ola Adriana. That's a good song.
Ola Adriana.
Okay.
So there's your music recommendation for the podcast.
I got some interesting album covers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a band that I heard like a couple songs by, and I was like, "This is terrible," and now I like enjoy it. But I don't know.
Death Grips.
Nope, still don't enjoy.
But, 100 Gex.
Oh yeah. Bear Ghost just came out with Big Town Banky Blaine's Rockabilly Barbecue. Good song.
Okay, interesting.
That sounds legendary. His Golden Messenger was kind of like that. I wasn't huge on his sound the first time I listened to one of his newest albums, his second newest one. But I listened to it again a couple months later, and then I like dug into his whole discography basically. But we'll talk about him some other podcast. I'm sure I'll pick one of his albums eventually.
Well, like the first time I listened to his stuff, I thought he was like one of those like subliminally Christian things. But then I think I was just thinking of Judah and the Lion.
Yeah.
I think in my head I was just, for some reason I was like, his Golden Messenger, I don't know, and then my brain like connected the two for literally no reason.
His music does have he's commented on that, said like his music has almost a sort of gospel or spiritual feel to it, but it's not associated with any specific religion.
Right. Yeah. Listening to his stuff a little bit more, I've broken that link, but for whatever reason when I first found his stuff, my brain was just like, yeah, it's like that. I don't know. Well, I guess we can go ahead and round out this week. Does anyone have any final thoughts you wanted to share before we take her home?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, nothing here.
Well, then, we just wanted to say thanks for listening this week, and remember to tune in next week where we're going to be taking a look at Stories Don't End by Dawes. It'll also be our first week in a while back to us three. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. But be sure to check out the album so you can kind of have your own thoughts before you listen to it, and then you can mentally join in the discussion with us. You can also actually join in the discussion by leaving a comment on the YouTube episode, or you can also tweet them at us. We're on Twitter at @ListUpPodcast, and that account, as well as our personal handles, are going to be in the description of wherever you found this episode. But for now, we'll catch you next week, and remember to listen up.